What's up, Sim Racers? TJR Sim, this is Larry here, and today we've got this really cool Heusinkveld Sim handbrake. Now, I did some research and I wanted to upgrade to a little bit higher end handbrake than what I was normally using, which was the Fanatec version 1 handbrake, which I was really pleased with for quite a while, and it works great for $119 for a handbrake. You can't beat it. So this is actually, double the cost in a handbrake, but you also get double the quality, I believe. But so there's other handbrakes on the market. You got the DSD, this one, I can't think of the other name right now. But anyway, out of all of them, I thought this was the best bang for the buck for stepping up to a higher end handbrake, being all stainless steel construction. You can mount this in the position you have right here, which mine is mounted to my rig in a vertical position. Like, imagine this is straight up and down in a vertical position, or it's in this horizontal position that you see here. Now, being this in horizontal position, you would want this handle flipped around and coming back to you, which I don't have it like that right now, just because it's how I normally mount it to my rig. But needless to say, you can easily switch it around. Unscrew this little wing or kind of boomerang looking bracket. There's two of them here. Unscrew it, flip it around, and then you'll have the handbrake in a horizontal fashion. So what do you get out of the kit? You get a wingsuit bracket that they call a wingsuit bracket. Now this is basically so you can mount this to 80/20 rigs, and then of course these 4 holes are to mount your handbrake to this. Nice that they thought about the people that use the custom rigs and stuff for it. And you do need to mount this to something substantial. It's not gonna just mount to anything. You will need a sturdy rig. Like I'm using the Fanatec K2 rig, and it's already pre-drilled for it, and it works great on there. So definitely a sturdy rig. Comes with a USB cable. Plug it into your PC, and this other end here plugs into the controller box. Now the controller box, HE Sim handbrake there, looks pretty nice actually. And it gets plugged in, which this wire is, RTJ wire that is already attached to the handbrake and plugs into the controller box like so. So yeah, pretty easy. Literally plug and play. Plug the handbrake into the box into your PC with this cable, you're done. The PC recognizes it as a controller, just like anything else. And it's just plug and play. And all you do is download software, which is on the Heusinkveld's website, DI-View. Imagine you can get it in other places too, but they have it there. Download that, and that's where you set your parameters, basically, of your handbrake. How much force you want to have, and where your range is. Being that this is, handbrake not engaged, and this is fully engaged. You could actually adjust it where you say this is fully engaged. So if you're using the harder bushing like I am right here, right now, and you don't want to pull it till you fully collapse it to be full stop, you could adjust it to where it's somewhere in between. Now this is 37 pounds of force, this one being 22, the white one. I've been running with the white one for a little while. I did like this one as well. It's just user preference, how much you want to yank on it. I kind of like this. I like the extra stiffness. It feels like a hard handbrake to yank like in a car. I like that heavier bushing. Plus it actually looks a little cooler to me, being this green. But it's just personal preference. But as far as adjustments go, you saw this handle actually move on me. I didn't tighten it all the way down yet, but I'll show you some adjustments. Now these 2 wrenches that it comes with here, you can adjust this handbrake in that variation like that. You have these 2 as here as well. And it just takes 2 because it has just a little, I'll show you. Has a little bushing in here this little bushing right here that you screw into. Thread it on both sides, and that allows your adjustments, right? So move it in and out. Now let me put it back in here. Bear with me. You wanted to see it, so I had to unscrew it. Pretty easy to do. It's you know, it works nice, you know. You kind of want to hold the inner bushing here a little bit to just get your screws in there. But as you can see, you have this adjustment here too as well. So that's just in this mode here. This is normally mounted to my rig, like I said, in a vertical position, up and down position. And I generally have, I think I have this all the way forward and this back usually on mine. But you know, you end up playing around with it on your rig to see like, where am I reaching off of my hand wheel and grabbing the handbrake? So, you know, adjust it to your preference. The great thing is that it's highly adjustable. And if you take, of course, obviously, if you take these off and flip these boomerang brackets around, then you'll have it in this horizontal mode, which would be preferred if you're mounting like I have it mounted right here to the table. So that's actually really nice that you can mount it both ways. So I can imagine if you have your handbrake sitting beside you on your rig in that motion there, you would prefer it in this horizontal motion. Where on my Fanatec K2 rig, I have it mounted in the vertical position, and this is what I prefer there. So I'm going to snug these up a little bit real quick. And that's all it takes, is just a little snug. And I think I usually do this one around here on me. But I would keep these two wrenches with you, handy, when you mount it up, and just keep everything kind of loose when you mount it up to your rigs until you get it adjusted the way you want to. So, being that it's all stainless steel construction, it's built like a rock. It doesn't move. Now, if you use the Fanatec handbrakes and stuff, if you're grabbing it at a side angle, you'll notice that that one lever, it flexes on you. I never liked that part of it. The handbrake worked great, analog handbrake worked great, but I didn't like the flex. This, you have no, if you're side loading this, it doesn't flex on you. It's just beautiful the way it works. So, yeah, really like that aspect of it. So let's get on to what else? We've got the 37 pound bushing in here, and this being the 22. Now to switch these out, they're actually really easy to do. Oh, and before I get to that, as far as the construction goes, being all stainless steel, is you got these two bronze bushings here. So your action pull is actually really smooth. And there's also a blue grommet in here, in this little area here, which you can't, well, let me see, move the camera around here. Right there. Hopefully you can kind of see it. That blue grommet right there, that's your stop. And I got quiet just so you could hear what it sounded like. It quietens it up quite a bit. And that's just to keep you from making so much noise, really. They didn't have to do that. They just added it on there to quieten things up, which is nice. Being that my rig runs so many transducers and stuff, nothing's quiet on it. So getting something a little bit quieter is a plus. So, very smooth action. Really, really impressed with it. It's got like a little knuckle here. And to switch out this bushing, it's just a 13 millimeter wrench. And you just unscrew this one. And it doesn't have to be tight. It's not very tight. Let's get this over here closer to it. So unscrew that, and you can unscrew this back bolt. Oops, wrong way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. One more. Just unscrew it on out. Bear with me, this does not take long. There is my nut. Comes with flat washer. This is the heavier duty bushing. And you got another flat washer, and then of course the long bolt. Very easy. And here, this is the load cell right here. It measures all your force that you'll be using DIView, the program. And I'll get to the software side of it here in a little bit. But this is a Maven NA151 and is at 200 kg. I don't remember how many inch-pounds that is, but you can go ahead and calculate it up. It's I don't know, 300 or 250 or something like that. But yeah, it should last, I mean, dang near forever here. But let's go ahead and put this back in, and I'm going to put the 22 pound in there. You just slide it in. Now the only thing I didn't like is that this stuff kind of comes off easy, whatever the print was on there. This, what, fiber, oh, what is it? Let me see. Fiberflex brand. So this stuff comes off actually pretty easy, which, you know, it's on rubber, so you can't expect it to stay there forever. But anyway, that's why you see this kind of blackish stuff on there. You can clean it off if you don't like it. Slide it in. Oops. Make sure we put the bottom washer. I dropped it in here. I was wondering where it went. Put the bottom washer on there first. Slide your bushing in. Another washer on top. And let's just put your nut on there. I'll just go ahead and thread it on in like that until I get to the top of the nut here nice and flush. And then I move my little knuckle up, slide it in like you see me doing, and just keep screwing it on in. That's kind of the easiest way of doing it. Get some threads there. Let's see. And just screw it all the way up in there. Snug it up. You don't have to tighten this down a lot. And actually they recommend that you don't. I just snug it down. It's not a big deal. Now this bolt here you want to snug down. Now see the little bit of play you get? Well, right there. That little play right there. You'll want to tighten this nut down. This is what I've learned from just experience with it. Is tighten this down until you compress this bushing just slightly. And that way, see, there's no play in it now. You see me compressing the bushing a little bit, but there's no extra play. And you'll basically set this at 0, and then of course your range, that'll be full stop. And when you're using a lighter bushing, I use the full range of it. I use the full range actually with the harder bushing too, but going back doing some more experimenting, I think I may just put the harder bushing at maybe be full lock up at half the compression value on the lever, because I just like the harder force it takes to yank on it. But I don't necessarily want to have to go all the way to the stop to be full lockup, if that makes sense. So, well, I know that makes sense. Made sense to me. Anyway, that's what's nice about the DIView software is you can do that. So that's it as far as, you know, what you get in the box. An overview of this shifter. We are going to go over to the software side of it, and I will show you that. How to set it up, calibrate it. Every time you switch off these bushings, you'll want to recalibrate it. It takes literally a minute to do. Not much time at all. And actually on Heusinkveld's website, they have videos that show you exactly how to do it. So it's really simple and easy to do. But I'll get this mounted up to my rig again, and we'll go from there. So we'll be back. Okay guys, so let's continue on with the Heusinkveld Sim Handbrake, and we're looking at the software side of things. So what we got here is I went to Heusinkveld's website, and you want to go over here to support, And on the support, of course, we're messing with the handbrake now, so go down to product manual under the sim handbrake. And here you'll actually see the other configuration I was talking about out there, as far as in the mount it in the horizontal position with the handbrake sticking straight up. So there's that. But scroll on down because we want to do the software side of things here. You see calibrating the handbrake right here. Now in this video it actually shows him calibrating it with the sim pedals and stuff, but we want to do it with, of course, the handbrake. It's the same software either way. Anyway, click on this, it downloads it as a zip file. Open up the zip file the way you normally do any other zip file, and here is DI view. Open up DI view. Now when you first open up DI view, it's going to be cluttered. It's going to look at all of your products that you have on your page. See all these little boxes here? I'm going to click it just to show you what it actually looks like, so you're not scared that you did something wrong, or just confused rather. So all my controllers that are plugged in, this is what it recognizes. It comes up as default the very first time you load DI view. Go ahead and close out all of them. I guess you can hit X here too, but I go over here to settings and click off all the ones that I don't want. That way it doesn't show up the next time I come in here to configure my handbrake. Now if I had my pedals, the Heusinkveld pedals, then I would probably leave that one checked and up as well, but I don't have those yet. I'm trying to decide if I want to go with the Ultimates or the Pros. Maybe they'll send me some after these reviews. I don't know. But that would be nice, wouldn't it? Just so I can give y'all some feedback. But from just, your everyday sim racer. Alright, so this is what you get. Heusinkveld, the HE Sim handbrake. And you see it recognizes the handbrake in the computer as a HE Sim handbrake. HE Sim handbrake, which is actually really nice. What you're going to want to do, and just to see when I pull on the lever, this is where it goes. So that's max. And I actually have the green grommet in there, the 37-pound pull on here right now. So 0 is actually showing somewhere off the chart there. So you want to calibrate it in right. Let's go over here and click on View Raw Data. And this is where it's actually seeing. Let's see when I see the red arrow there. When I tap on this handbrake, it kind of moves around. It's very sensitive. So you want to set a little bit of range above where it's setting at now. So right now it's around 104, right? This is at rest, not pulling on a handbrake, 106. It jumps around, right? I touch it a little bit and let go of it. Snap it hard back to see what it sets at, 130. I want to set it somewhere a little bit above that to where I'm not getting any brake drag, okay? So you're not well, so you don't get to brake, so you're not holding in the e-brake while you're driving. So I'm gonna probably pick somewhere around 200 as my starting point, because I'm seeing when I just kind of grab it and let it flop back, 120-ish. But I want a little bit of dead zone in there. So you could do 150. What if I just pull it a little bit? Pull it just a little bit, was being lazy about it. 140, 152. So I want to be above that. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you set a dead zone a little bit above that. So let's just say 200 is going to be my starting point. Now my ending point is going to be 4,095 is max. But let's yank on it right here. And I'm actually only going to, and I'm pulling on it hard, 2950. That's the hardest. Now if I want to actually set this a little bit less, where I want the be full lockup of the rear wheels at somewhere like around there, because I really don't want to pull that hard on the handbrake, I can do that, and which is pretty cool. So I could set it the max to be 2030 right there. And you see it in the red dialing down there. But just for the sake of the video, I'll just pull as hard until I hit the stops on the handbrake, and we're saying 2,900, roughly 3,000. So that's the max. What you do is right click anywhere in the screen and go to calibration. Now we know our beginning was 200,
And our max, what was our max? Let's pull it again, 3,000. 3,000 is the max. The center, of course, is the average of the two. That's why you have your calculator up over here. So 200, well, hello, that's 3,200, right? Divided by 2 is what, 1,600. So our median would be 1,600. Click OK. Now right click on it and go to view raw data again to turn it off. And now you see that it's at 0. And when I pull it max, it's going all the way, let me get my other hand here. It's going all the way to the top right there, right? That's at max. You're set, you're done. So you can see it takes longer to explain this than it actually does to do it. So, but that's the software side of things. Very easy to do, to set it up, and hopefully this helps explain it to make this a complete video review of this thing. So next up is to show it in action. So I'll fire up some Project Cars 2 and show me ripping around a little bit on it with the camera just on the handbrake. I'll try to get the screen in the picture too, that way you can see it. And but yeah, talk about it that way. I'll try to maybe dub some voice over it. But anyway, let's go on to that. Oh, and I did want to do a quick note. You can just close this out. You don't have to leave it open ever again. It just automatically loads properly. But I did want to make a special note I didn't mention in the first part of the review and with this handbrake, and that is that how small of a form factor it is, and that was one of my decision making things, to go to a higher end sim handbrake but have the small form factor that I had in the Fanatec stuff. And so that's how the Heusinkveld came in. It's a much sturdier handbrake. Just, it should last me the lifetime of my sim racing career. And if it doesn't, they warranty their stuff, and they sound like they're pretty cool as far as, if it wears out prematurely, they'll still cover it, is what I kind of heard in some of the interviews. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. Parts wear out eventually. Bushings wear out eventually. It's great that you know you can go back and get these parts. Heck, you could buy your own bushings and customize it your own way if you wanted to. But yeah, I like the small form factor. It is a big shifter actually, but it mounts up in a small area, which is nice. So yeah, one nice touch there. So anyway, let's go into seeing it in action, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on everything. All right. So my final thoughts on the handbrake here from Heusinkveld is that if you're looking for a higher end handbrake that doesn't really break the bank, but gets you closer to that more of an enthusiast level, then this is the handbrake for you. And obviously, if you're on PC only. This doesn't work for consoles out of the box. Now, the drive hub that I just reviewed, they said that you can actually hook this up to the accessories port, but they would have to program the box to get it to work, obviously. So they may would have to use a donor, someone's donor. They actually got the Heusinkveld, some version of the Heusinkveld pedals hooked up to work for the drive hub already. But I did plug this into the drive hub just to verify, and it does not work on the drive hub. And someone else I also mentioned, if I plug it into the pedals on the V3s, that it may work there automatically, like Fanatec would recognize it or something. But I verified that doesn't work either. But so if you're on the console, you'd have to get some other means, or you're going to stay with the Fanatec version 1 or version 1.5 that's out now. But if you mainly on PC and you're wanting to step up to something a lot more robust, very sturdy, as I get older, I really start appreciating the higher end stuff. And this is one of these products that just gives you the warm and fuzzy feelings when you get it. Because it's just built so well, and it's doesn't bend on you, it doesn't sway on you, there's no extra flex. You can actually see in the video that my rig's flexing, pulling forward, not my handbrake. So but and this rig is designed for this actually, so but you don't notice it when you're driving it as far as the rig goes. But for the handbrake, it's a rock, man. It doesn't get any better than this to me so far, especially for the price range. Yes, it's double. The downside is it's double the price of, say, like a Fanatec, but it's definitely a higher end quality that you're stepping into with this. And just the hand lever itself, I mean, just looking at it, is very beefy. Feels great in your hand. It doesn't feel like a toy at all. It feels like a piece of professional equipment. So I really like it. It's a lot of fun to use, and I think you'll enjoy it too if you're looking for something like this. Obviously, a lot of people enjoy it because they're sold out most of the time, and they only make them batches to meet their expected demand, so to keep their overhead down lower. So which is smart. And as they get more and more popular, you know, they I'm sure will ramp up production. But at this time of posting this video, this is in stock, as well as you see using the sequential shifter. That's in stock right now as well. They weren't when I was actually reviewing this product for the last month. After I got mine, it almost seemed like I must have got the last one, because they were just sold out after the week I got it. So anyway, their ultimate pedals are actually sold out, but not their pro pedals too. So give you some ideas about it. But yeah, with the load cell technology in this, it's in the choice that you're able to switch out different bushings. I mean, I would imagine you can make your own bushings as well. Maybe even make variation of bushings would be neat. A softened and harder bushing to go in between it. You know, a couple of them, kind of like what you get with the with their pedals, actually. You know, but yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, let me cover the games just real quick in closing here. Now, they list out some games on their website, but I did find out more works. But so far, Richard Burns Rally, Live for Speed, Automobista, and the beta version of it, Dirt Rally, Dirt 4, Project Cars 1 and 2, R Factor 2, iRacing, and Forza 7 on PC. Now, Forza 7 on PC might be a surprise to some of you, but now since it's out on PC, it was redesigned supposedly from the ground up for PC. Well, Forza 7 now accepts a lot of USB ports for separate shifters and handbrakes, obviously in this case. And so yeah, it works great on it. It doesn't work on Forza Horizon 3 because that's not programmed in the game to work. Pretty much any game that accepts a USB device and that you can map to it, the USB device, it'll work. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope I covered everything that you may have questions about. I think it's a great shifter. I'm thinking about the shifter right now too. So, but I think it's a great handbrake. I think they did an excellent job with it, between the build quality of it, the sturdiness of it. It's just all in a small form factor. It's just a really good handbrake that I recommend to anybody that's wanting to step up to a little bit higher end handbrakes. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope I covered everything again, and watch the end of it. Watch me ripping through out here, and leave some comments and down below, and I'll answer them as quick as I can. I'm out.